and welcome to General Knowledge Hub GH. Today, we are going to talk about one of the largest mass migrations in modern history, the deportation of Ghanaians from Nigeria in 1983. If you have ever heard of the term, Ghana must go, you need to stay till the end and see the amazing story behind that famous terms and the reason Ghana and Nigeria shares so much in common. In January 1983, the Nigerian president Shehu Shagari issued an executive order that expelled 2 million undocumented West African migrants, more than half of whom were from Ghana. The order was allegedly issued in response to religious riots that engulfed parts of the country in 1980 and 1981. But why were there so many Ghanaians in Nigeria in the first place? Well, the story goes back to the 1960s and 1970s, when Nigeria was experiencing an oil boom that attracted millions of workers from neighboring countries, especially Ghana. Ghana, on the other hand, was going through a series of political and economic crises that forced many people to seek better opportunities elsewhere. Why do I feel we are still nearing or we are still in that situation till today? Anyways, let's continue. However, by the early 1980s, the Nigerian economy had weakened and it was election season. Nigerian politicians hoped that the expulsion would be well received by the voters who blamed the foreigners for taking their jobs and resources. Across Nigeria, up to 2 million migrants were warned that if they did not leave the country within 2 weeks, they would face arrest, prosecution, and forced deportation. Note, contrary to popular misconception that it was only Ghanaians that were deported that time, the real fact is there were other African nationals too. Not only Ghanaians, but Ghana had the most people. And also the order was to deport undocumented people. After the order was given, they crammed everything they could into trucks, cars, pickup trucks, and taxis and tried to flee the country as soon as possible. The main route to Ghana was westward, via Benin and Togo. But there was a problem. Following an attempted coup the previous year, the Ghanaian president Jerry Rawlings had closed the main land crossing with Togo, and Togo then also shut its borders with Benin to avoid a sudden influx of returnees. As a result, once the migrants reached Benin, their options were limited, and they were forced to remain in the port of Cotonou, hoping to find a boat to Ghana. Tens of thousands of refugees, mostly Ghanaians, gathered at the border between Benin and Togo. The road back to Ghana had come to a halt, hopelessly clogged with vehicles and a swarm of refugees, while the border remained closed for the time being. Ghana's government had legitimate concerns that the country, with a population of around 12 million people at the time, would be unable to handle such an influx. Its economy was already in a state of disarray at the time. However, after they had been stranded for more than a week, Ghana reopened its borders, causing Togo to do likewise so that the Ghanaians could return home. The deportation had a lasting impact on both Nigeria and Ghana. For Nigeria, it was seen as a sign of its declining regional influence and its inability to cope with its own problems. For Ghana, it was a wake-up call that prompted a series of reforms and initiatives to revive its economy and democracy. The relationship between the two countries has improved since then. It is also important to note that prior to 1983, the deportation of immigrants had occurred several times in West Africa for various reasons. These include Ghana's deportation of Nigerians in 1954 and 1969 and Togo's deportation of nationals from Côte d'Ivoire, Dahomey, and Nigeria in 1958. So it wasn't any personal vendetta from Nigeria to Ghanaians or any other African nationals. So don't hold grudges with your African brothers due to this situations, because it was always for economic reason. Africa needs unity more now than ever.
This episode was brought to you by Janelp Innovations, producers of liquid soaps and detergent. If you are in Accra or Cape Coast, kindly contact them for delivery. And supported by Pingara Designs, contact them for all your wedding gowns and other beautiful outfits for all occasions.
That is all for today. Thanks for staying. Please don't forget to like, comment and share to support us. As usual, my name is Moses Saki, aka Bokadi, and I'm out.